Hello, folks. LA Little here with TA Today, and I want to talk about gold. Have we seen the top? Was that it? You can see this big spike up, right? Big volume. That's usually the sign of some sort of a top. The question is it just on the short-term time frame? Is it on the weekly? Is it on the monthly? In other words, do we have a long-term top here, short-term top, intermediate-term top? What do we got? And I'd say to you, it's probably just a short-term top. Let's look at it together. You got congruency right in this area. You can see the green. That's where we should see buyers try to come in. I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to take it back up to the top of what is showing as resistance now. And that probably is going to define the bounce. And so you get some sort of a bounce up here, and then you kind of like work it that way. Where can it go to? Well, if you go back and you take and cut off these and look for a high volume, let's do that here together. And let's just take that one. You can see all of those are about the same. And if we go and try to determine, which ones are which, you can see that this one is that bar. And then we go over to these two. We have these two bars, this one and that one. And then these last two are the ones that are up in this area that we're talking about now. And so if I look for congruency between that in terms of high volume, wide price spread, this is a wide price spread. This one's almost there, but if we just take the congruent area, which is right there, that probably should be a target on the downside in terms of a range, if in fact this is a short-term top. And I do believe we got a short-term top. So if we just draw that in, more than likely, that's what your range is going to be. Now, if we look at that price point, let's take the bottom of this one, 208. If we go to the weekly, take the 208 price point, it's going to get you right in this area. If you look at here, that's where all your volume is. And so to get back into that low, a little bit lower over here potentially, it would get back into this, for example. Those are about the same price points. Therefore, that I believe is where your range is going to develop. Now, if we turn and look at the silver, there we're going to see the exact same setup. And that's what makes me believe that we've got a range. High volume, reversal, support in here to start with, therefore probably a little bit of a bounce. But then you're going to come back into wherever your high volume, wide price spreads are. If we go in and look at the volumes, those two, it's this one and this one, these two. And so if I take that congruent area, mark it in right about there, that's probably where it wants to come back to. We'll range on that. That's where your range is. Price point, low, right around, well, let's take the top here, 23, roughly 24. If we go to 24 over here, 24 is going to get you right into this area here. So could we get back into these swing point highs? Yeah, this is the one you're going to try to get into. That would be the retest regen, 23.94. I suspect that's what it's going to do. That was consistent with what we just saw in the gold. Range is in fact here. Top has happened on the short-term time frame. Don't have it elsewhere. May have a range that develops on the weekly as a result of that. So in other words, if we draw this back in and say something like this, that can go on for a few weeks. That's where we're at. Do we have a top? Yeah. We got it short term. Is it going to make a range? Yeah. It's probably a consolidation range before we go higher. That's it. Have a great one. Take care. See you next time.